Today we have the BC Liberal Party leader, Christy Clark, as our guest. Welcome, Christy.
Thank you, Sunny, very much.
Okay, so let's get to the questions. To my understanding, the Chinese communities, a lot of the parents are sending their children to private schools, and because they don't trust the public school system. And as a matter of fact, we understand that your son also goes to private school. Mm-hmm. So if Christy doesn't send her son to a public school, and why should we?
People should send their children to the school that's right for their kids. That's what people should do. And so the reason we have public schools and independent schools, Catholic schools and different kinds of schools out there, is so that parents have a range of choices. And I really strongly support that. Parents need to have the ability to make choices for their children. And so, if we don't have a range of choices, if we don't allow independent schools, or we can't provide any choices for people. So our public school system is excellent. It is one of the best in the world and the best in the country, no question about it. But, it's not perfect for everyone. Someone might want a Catholic education for their children. Someone might want a Montessori education for their children, whatever it happens to be. And we need to provide that.
Okay, so in other words, you want to keep that flexible, but at the same time, what's your vision for the public school system, and how would you improve it?
Well, I think, and the vision is for both, right? I think there are a couple of things we need to do. We need to make sure that we have testing in schools, and that it's good, that it's trustworthy. Adrian Dix and the NDP want to get rid of real testing in schools. They're opposed to it. I support it. I think it helps us always make sure that we're doing better. We need to continue to invest money in education, which we've done. We've added 500 new teachers, 400 new special teaching assistants, and we need to keep doing that. We need to improve our curriculum. So I think here we are, you and I, sitting talking to thousands and thousands of people who speak Mandarin or Cantonese tonight, and we live in a multicultural society and a very Asian society. Our schools should have more Asian content, as an example, in history, in the curriculum. We need to change our curriculum so that it reflects better who we are. And that's going to be a major task for us in the next 4 years.
So in other words, you believe you have plans in terms of curriculum and all the things to improve the public school system. And okay, let's move on to the next question. And BC Liberal claim they're a pro-business party. And we are seeing from your election platform that you're going to lower the small business tax rate to 1.5%,
yes,
no later than the 2017 financial year. And yet, from the previous government, we are also seeing that there were similar promises made, to get rid of the whole small business tax effective in April in 2012. And why that didn't happen?
Because we had a major financial meltdown, a global crisis that defied anyone's predictions. And so all around the world, we saw governments running up huge deficits, getting themselves in deep, deep trouble. In British Columbia, we actually managed it pretty well, but it meant that we weren't able to do everything that we wanted to do. But now we have got our budget balanced. And you know how we did that? I have been Premier for 2 years, Sonny. The first year I became Premier, I said, we are going to get government spending under control, because I just don't believe that government should grow bigger. We got it under control. Then I said, we're going to balance the budget. Now that we've done that, we can put ourselves on a path to making our province debt-free.
But will we be seeing similar scenarios in the future?
No, because we understand where the economy is going better now. I mean, what happened in 2008 hasn't happened since 1929. But we're on a stable path now. Our trade with China and Asia is growing very significantly, so that's very good news. And we've promised I'm going to lower that small business tax by 40%, freeze the carbon tax, freeze income tax, and we are going to lower the corporate tax rate by 1%. Compare that to the NDP, who want to grow government, spend $3 billion more, and they're going to have to tax you to get that money.
So I guess the audience would understand your stance on this. And at the same time, from previous experience, I know you talk a lot about the BC Jobs Plan. And yet, from some stats, we're seeing that BC has lost close to 37,000 jobs since the plan was launched. And let me finish this. And so, other than the plan, could you name one concrete legislation which you were responsible for, and also has led to a job growth and more job opportunities?
Well, first, the numbers you're quoting are the NDP numbers, so of course they're going to say that, and it's not true. Since we introduced the BC Jobs Plan in September 2011, we've gained 32,000 jobs. So that's the statistic, that's the number. And we've outperformed the rest of the country in lots of respects. So that's one thing. And in terms of legislation that we've brought in, there's been a whole bunch of legislation that we've done related to the jobs plan, and that has allowed us to get closer to opening new mines in the province. 17 new and expanded mines is our goal. We're halfway there. To allow us to be able to move on this liquefied natural gas opportunity, we're very close to making that happen. And all of the things that we've done in trade, in building infrastructure, you know, we've really, over the last few years since I've been Premier, we've kept taxes the lowest in the country. We're balancing our budget. We've put our province on a path to debt-free. I'm not going to argue we've been perfect, but we have gotten the big things right for our economy, and we're trying to make sure we're leaving more money in people's pockets.
And one more question that I believe the Chinese community is really interested in. And I'm going to present the question into two parts, which I will need both your answers.
Okay.
And for the first part, when, you know, if you're re-elected into the government, when will the BC government issue an apology on head tax and also the historic, you know, injustice towards the Chinese community? We need a timeline for it. And the second question is, apart from that, you know, aside from jobs and economy you have, you know, emphasized on, what are the specific issues that you think the Chinese communities have and that you're going to address at the same time?
Well, on the first one, I'd like to do it as soon as possible. If we could do it in the first session of the legislature after the election, I'd like to do that. Now, it needs to be nonpartisan, so I'd really like to have the NDP's support in doing it because it should be untainted by politics, but it needs to be done, absolutely. So that's the answer to the first question. The second one, you know, I think that the Chinese community is concerned about the economy. Small business tax, lowering it by 40%, cutting red tape, making it easier for people to be able to do business, increasing trade. All of those things matter for the Chinese community. And you know, we're a low tax party, we're a balanced budget party, we believe in eliminating debt. And so if I can ask your viewers one thing, it's to make sure they get out and vote. Because you know, Chinese voters are typically underrepresented at the polls. And we really need to make sure that the entire community is getting out there and making their voice heard in this election, because the choice is so big. What the NDP are proposing, $3 billion worth of new spending, all the taxes, the new taxes that would go with that, I mean, versus what we're trying to do in terms of growing the economy, is a big difference.
So what do you believe it is some specific concerns of the Chinese community?
Well, I think the Chinese community is pretty concerned about the economy. Chinese community is pretty concerned about tax rates.
Okay.
And Chinese community, can I give you another one? Chinese community is pretty concerned, I've heard, about the fact that the NDP would take away the $1,200 that we've set aside for every child for their post-secondary education. Every child under 6 has an RESP, $1,200 with their name written on it. And the NDP would take that away. I hear from people in the Chinese community that's something that they're pretty concerned about.
Okay, and let me give you one example. We have talked to their voters, and they are saying that, you know, they want something to be done about the senior care. So what are you going to do about it?
We are going to double the number of hospice beds. We are putting $2.4 billion of new money, $1 billion into healthcare over the next 3 years. So we're going to continue to do that. But the question, you know, really too, Sonny, and people know this, I think your viewers will know this, why is it we're able to find $2.3 or $2.4 billion for healthcare? It's because we're growing the economy. So as long as we keep the economy growing and on track, we can keep adding money to healthcare to look after senior citizens.
Okay, time is up for today, but really appreciate that.
My
and we
pleasure.
know your promises. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Christy.
so much, Sonny. It was nice to be with you and with
It's
your
a pleasure.
viewers too.